Hello and welcome cocktail enthusiasts. Today's drink is the Mexican Mule. This is a popular and modern twist on a classic vodka cocktail. We're going to be making this incredibly refreshing beverage with Altos Plata Tequila. This is a brand synonymous with premium quality and tradition. The tasty Mexican Mule is the cousin of the Moscow Mule, a drink that in its many styles and variations is a popular staple in bars all over the world. Just like many cocktails, the history of the Moscow Mule has a few different stories related to its birth. There's popular belief that says it goes back all the way to the 1940s to New York. There was a bartender that had a great idea to combine a newly imported Russian vodka with a locally made ginger beer and serve this concoction in a copper mug. And the rest, as they say, is history. So it's time to grab your mixing spoon as we dive into this flavor fiesta, crafting the perfect Mexican Mule with the exquisite Altos Tequila. Have you ever wondered where the name Mule comes from? Well, what we do know is that there is a category of cocktails called Buck. Traditionally, Bucks were highballs consisting of some kind of spirit served with ginger beer. The Buck is a phrase associated with a kicking horse, and perhaps this whole thing relates to how this cocktail has a really good kick. Now, the copper mug was something that was introduced right at the beginning and has stuck around ever since. The copper mugs are super popular as they stand out in a big way, but are also brilliant at keeping the cocktail extremely cold. Copper is known to keep a drink super chilled for longer, thanks to copper's thermal conductivity properties. Every sip is as refreshing as the first. So use a copper mug if you can, and if you can't, just use a highball. That will be absolutely fine. Anyway, enough chit chat. If you're here, it's because you want to make a delicious cocktail. Well look, the ingredients are super simple, yet full of character. First, the heart and soul of the cocktail, Altos Blanco or Altos Reposado, is completely up to you. Next, the zing of some fresh lime juice, and then the effervescence and delicate spice of a high quality ginger beer. And of course, as always, lots of ice. Lastly, a splash of colour and extra fragrance with lime slices and some mint leaves for garnish. And voila, there you go. That's all you need. Super easy, right? With these key ingredients, we're ready to begin making a Mexican Mule. So here we go. But wait a minute, before we get started, I have a special announcement for all the spice lovers out there. I'm thinking about you. Here's a little bartender secret, so keep it between you and me. Here's where we sprinkle a little bit of magic to make our Mexican Mule unforgettable. For those of you who do fancy a little spicy kick, you could add a few slices of fresh jalapeno. Simply throw them in the copper mug and give them a muddle. Do that before adding all the other ingredients. Maybe that's not your thing, but what you could do is add a few drops of cocktail bitters for extra depth and flavour. We started talking about the essential ingredients, but don't forget that none of that matters if your choice of tequila doesn't do the drink justice. That choice is crucial too. Altos Plata will give you a super fresh profile, and Altos Reposado adds a smooth, rich base, taking the Mexican Mule to another level. You know, it's one of the easiest cocktails to make. No shaker is required. Finally, it's time to start making this wonderful Mexican Mule. Now, the first thing is to fill my copper mug with lots of ice. You could use cubed or crushed. Loads of ice until it's popping out of the vessel, and I'm opting for Altos Plata with a really fresh taste. It's going to be 2 ounces, that's 60 mils, and just very simply pour over the ice. And then we're going to follow that up with the juice of 1 lime, so about 30 mils. That's 1 ounce. Now you could add a touch of something sweet like agave just to balance out some of those sharper notes, but that's completely up to you. Now I'm just going to fill the glass with a charge of ginger beer. we're pretty much done. I'm going to give this a few rotations. And I can smell it. It's wonderful, it's ready to go. Well, almost ready to go. We're missing decoration, which is just as important as the other ingredients. So I'm gonna use a little wedge of lime here, but also I'm gonna add the fragrance of some fresh mint. So just give that a little flick on top of the glass. And there you have it. The wonderful Mexican Mule made with Altos Plata. A drink like the Mexican Mule deserves a grand presentation. It's not just about the taste. The lime garnish not only adds a zesty aroma, but creates a vibrant contrast between the copper mug and the drink. As you can see, I also like to add a sprig of mint. Those herbal notes partner really well with the other ingredients. Presentation is everything. We want to make this as attractive as possible. Serving in a traditional copper mug is not only a nod towards history, but also a guarantee of a super chilled, enticing experience with every sip. So let's try it. Wow, that is delicious. I can taste those rich agave notes from Altos Tequila that work really well with the zing of the ginger beer and the crisp lime juice. This is a match made in heaven, and it really feels like I'm taking a taste of tradition. So my friends, it's time to craft your own Mexican Mule and let the fiesta in your mouth begin. So what a flavorful adventure we've had today. Crafting the Mexican Mule with Altos Tequila is not just about mixing a drink. It's about celebrating a rich tradition with every sip. But hey, the journey doesn't have to end here. We have loads of more delicious recipes waiting in the wings. Make sure you hit that subscribe button, ring the notification bell, and stay tuned for our next cocktail expedition. Join us and dive deeper into the world of amazing cocktails with Altos Tequila. And remember that the link to our post about how to make these amazing cocktails is right there in the description below. And until the next pour, salud! And remember, it's easy to make quality drinks at home with Altos Tequila.